This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When send past the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, the New York Knicks take on the San Antonio Spurs tonight in what I consider to be another big basketball game for the Knicks. See if they can win another game at home. Maybe end up 2-2 at home. You dig what I'm saying? They take on Victor Wembanyama. They take on Popovich. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a fun one tonight. The Garden, I think, is going to be electrified with the debut of Victor Wembanyama at Madison Square Garden. And that's the reason why this game is on ESPN, without a doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be making quick work this afternoon. I got practice at 5 o'clock, so I got to be out of here by 4:30. Might even be a little bit earlier than that, but we'll be able to get through everything, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll be able to take phone calls if you got some phone calls. All right, so let's get right to it. Before I do that, though, I want to give a big shout out to Kojo. Kojo last night hit me with a super chat. I appreciate it, Kojo. Not a super chat, a cash app, ladies and gentlemen. Kojo, definitely appreciate the generosity. And for those who are not in the know, the channel's been demonetized, ladies and gentlemen, which means I cannot put ads on the videos. So you get to start it, get right into the content with no ads. But because of that, I've put my Cash App information out there for those who would like to support the channel. Cash App is $, nothing but Knicks. And PayPal is paypal.me /nothing but Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get to the get down. Talk about what we came to talk about. We'll start off with the injury report. For the New York Knicks, there's none. No injuries for the New York Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to know. I mean, there's only been one injury so far this season. That's been R.J. Barrett. The Knicks coming to the game fully healthy. San Antonio Spurs, on the other hand, Devin Vassell, he's doubtful for tonight. As of the 2:30 injury report, he was doubtful for tonight. Keldon Johnson, he's probable for tonight. He has been on the injury list. Everybody else are G League players or two-way players or whatever it is. All right, so we don't have to worry about those guys. But Charles Bediako, he's out because he's in the G League. Sidi Kisoko, he's out because he's in the G League. Jabari Rice, he's out because he's in the G League. So for the most part, ladies and gentlemen, this team is healthy besides Devin Vassell. But Devin Vassell is obviously a very good player. He's a starting player for the San Antonio Spurs. He will not be there tonight. Well, it's doubtful that he'll be there tonight. Devin Vassell is a guy that a lot of people like Devin Vassell and his ability to play defense. Excuse my dogs in the background. Hopefully they'll be quiet soon enough. Thank you, dogs. But he's a defender, ladies and gentlemen. He can shoot the basketball as well. He won't be there tonight. The Knicks won't have to worry about that, but there's other guys the Knicks have to worry about. All right, this is not going to be an easy game, in my opinion. Going up against Pop, right? You got Victor Wembanyama coming to the Garden, his debut at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks cannot have a letdown. They cannot have an emotional letdown. They cannot feel as though they've got this game won because they're playing a young team. San Antonio Spurs are a very young team. The Knicks have got to be focused. We'll talk about that, the keys to the game. They got to be focused coming into this one. If not, you can get upset. They've won some basketball games. Right? I think they're coming to this game 3-4 like the Knicks. So this is not a game that, they've been competitive. Now, they got smacked the other night by the Indiana Pacers. The Indiana Pacers scored 154 points the other night. And the Pacers have been scoring points, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, 152 points. The Pacers have been scoring. They've been lighting up the scoreboard. But this is not the Pacers. We're focused on the San Antonio Spurs. So let's take a look at the lineups. And we'll talk about some of the possible matchups for tonight. All right, so let's take a look at the lineups, ladies and gentlemen. For the Knicks, you got Jalen Brunson, Quentin Grimes, R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. For the San Antonio Spurs, you got Jeremy Sohan, Malachi Branham. I like that kid, Malachi Branham. I actually wanted the Knicks to take a deep look at drafting that guy. I think he's going to be a good basketball player. You got Keldon Johnson, Victor Wembanyama, and then you got Zach Collins at the center spot. Young guys, right? Young guys. Guys that can, Pop knows how to put together a team. There's no doubt about it. Guys that can play some defense. Guys that can play disciplined basketball. And Pop, Pop is going to teach discipline. He's going to teach defense. He's expecting you to listen to him, to follow his instructions. Pop ain't taking no shorts. And I feel like he has a team of young players who want his instruction, respect his instruction, understand what discipline is, understand what focus is. It's very difficult to have a team or to have players that struggle to focus, struggle to accept discipline. It's difficult. It's difficult to keep a standard of excellence if you got guys that continuously want to, bag back at you. But, Pop's got a track record. He's got a history. Everybody knows who Pop is, and they're going to respect Pop. And he's got players that are going to do that. I think he's got a good group here, and I'm pretty sure Pop he's been very instrumental in bringing these players to this team. So I would expect, listen, they're going to make young mistakes because they're a young basketball team. So they're going to make young mistakes. But I would still expect them to be disciplined. That's just Greg Popovich's style, to be disciplined. Let's take a look at the bench units. For the New York Knicks, you got Quickly, DiVincenzo, R.J. Barrett, Josh Hart, Isaiah Hartenstein. For the San Antonio Spurs, you got Trey Jones, the point guard spot. You got Doug McDermott. I forgot the A in Champagne for Julian Champagne. You got Cedi Osman. Then you got Basie. Now, I'm not sure how much Basie or Julian Champagne is going to play. All right. against the Indiana Pacers, they both played a ton because they were getting smacked. They were lost by 41 points. They were getting smacked. But the previous game, when they played against the Toronto Raptors, they didn't play as much. I think Champagne played like 6 minutes. Basie maybe played like 6 minutes. So we'll see how much they're going to play tonight. Without Devin Vassell, they obviously lose some of their depth. But they got some guys that can play. Doug McDermott, veteran guy, he can play. Cedi Osman, he's been on some very good basketball teams. He can play. And of course, I'll continue to say it, they are Greg Popovich type of guys. Right? Greg Popovich type of guys. They're gonna do what's asked of them. They're gonna play their roles. They probably know how to follow strategy. They get it. I still expect this bench unit, though, the Knicks bench unit, to win. To help give the Knicks an edge, the same way they did versus the Los Angeles Clippers. That bench unit, man, against the Clippers, they won the game, in my opinion. They won the basketball game. They were my player of the game. They won the basketball game. The game was teetering back and forth. Then that bench let loose at the top of the fourth quarter. The defense. And they didn't just let loose against the Clippers bench. They let loose against the Clippers starters. They didn't care that they had James Harden, Paul George, or Kawhi Leonard on the floor. That didn't matter to them at all. They went out there and balled out. They did what they were supposed to do. That's an example of how good this bench unit can be. At the beginning of the season, we all talked about the depth of the Knicks bench. Right? The depth of this basketball team. We've seen it against the Los Angeles Clippers. We want to continue to see it, but we've seen it against the Los Angeles Clippers. Dante DiVincenzo is beginning to find his rhythm, figure out where he fits in. He's beginning to handle the ball a little bit more. Not afraid to take shots. He's never been a guy that's been afraid to take shots, but I think he was a little bit hesitant, wanting to figure out his role, where he fits, and all of that stuff. I think he's understanding it a lot more. Emmanuel quickly is understanding what DiVincenzo can do a lot more. You see, quickly looking for Dante DiVincenzo. So there's a lot of people asking whether or not Dante is going to be elevated to that starting position over Quentin Grimes, because right now Quentin Grimes is not playing well. He's struggling to find his spot or his role or his best, not defensively, offensively. He's struggling to find his rhythm offensively with that unit. But I don't think you're going to see a change as long as the Knicks are winning. We talked about it on the post-game show a couple of days ago on Wednesday. I don't foresee a change as long as the Knicks are winning, because it's not just about the individual player. Well, this player is better, so he should be in the starting lineup, or he should be on off the bench because he's not as good. It's not just about that. It's about the lineups. How do the lineups work? Now, at the beginning of this season, I did believe there was a chance that Dante DiVincenzo could get that starting position. Tibbs came out and said, no, we're going to rock with what we've been doing. As time went on, things got shaky with the Knicks. They might still be shaky, right? You know, they beat the Los Angeles Clippers, but let's see if we can put together a streak. Things got shaky. You know, people start talking to changes. Tom Thibodeau likes to make changes when things are, you know, a little bit shaky. Normally about 20, 21 games, somewhere around there. I think he rocks with it right now. For continuity's sake. Some people are tired of that word, but for continuity's sake, I think he rocks with it. I think you give a chance for Dante DiVincenzo to mesh with that second unit a little bit. That second unit can be really, really tough. We started, we're seeing glimpses of it. They can be really tough. They can really give the Knicks an upper hand in a lot of basketball games, folks. I expect the Knicks bench unit to win this matchup, if you want to call it a matchup. Obviously, not Tom Thibodeau, Popovich is going to stagger his lineups because they're not very deep. So there'll probably always be a starter or two on the floor, the same way the Los Angeles Clippers did. Always a starter out there. I expect Popovich to do it the same way. Tom Thibodeau, for the most part, he plays a bench unit and then R.J. Barrett, right? He staggers guys in and staggers guys out, let's say that. But he always has a moment, 4 or 5 minutes where you have IQ, DiVincenzo, Barrett, Hart, and Hartenstein on the floor. And then he'll go from there. And listen, guys know when they're going to play. It works. Let's talk about matchups. Obviously, we're on the bench right now. I don't know if you really look at matchups on the bench. Maybe you're matching up the bench. Again, I'll say it again. In my opinion, the Knicks bench should win this matchup. You know what I mean? Pretty simple as that. As far as the starting units are concerned, let's talk about Julius Randle and Victor Wembanyama. This is a matchup here. Victor, he's young, he's rookie, he's small, he's skinny. I don't know. It's hard for me to say whether or not Pop is going to put Victor Wembanyama on Julius Randle. He might go in another direction. Or he might say, I'm going to throw him to the fire, and he just got to deal with the physicality of Julius Randle. I don't know. It's hard. I don't know. If I were Pop, would I put him on Julius Randle? I might, and say, hey, use your length, big fella. Don't try to use your body against them because you don't have one yet. Use your length to defend Julius Randle. And I think that could, Julius Randle, 6'8", he's an undersized power forward. Doesn't really have long arms. Clearly doesn't have long fingers because he's always losing the basketball. Right? So he doesn't fully extend to the basket. That's why you see him double pump a lot. Wembanyama's length could bother Julius Randle a little bit. Julius Randle should be able to power his way to the basket. But if he throws a couple of pump fakes and Victor stays on his feet, can Julius Randle now shoot over him? You'll see Julius Randle doing, a lot of fadeaways to try to shoot over him. this could be a challenging matchup for Randle. Now, on the offensive side, Wembanyama the kid can fast break. He can handle the ball on the fast break. He can go off the dribble. He can shoot it. Do a lot of things. He's just small and not strong. So it's tough for him to command his space in certain positions. But that's going to come over time. It's got to grow up. You know what I mean? This is going to be the first time that the Knicks have seen him. So, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a scouting report. But you got to see the speed, the strength, the size in person in order to really execute a scouting report. If you don't see those things in person, it's you don't know what to expect yet. So the Knicks are going to be learning about Wembanyama. Julius Randle is going to be learning about him. I don't want Julius Randle to try to straight up stay on the outside though, because Victor Wembanyama is Wembanyama. I keep pronouncing his name with an N at the end. I don't know why. But I don't want Julius Randle to stay on the outside, shoot threes all day. Go inside, use your strength. Maybe he fouls you. Maybe you can get him in foul trouble. If you're having trouble shooting over him, make another decision after that. But start off using your brutality against this kid. Let him feel the strength. Don't just start jacking up threes all willy-nilly out there. Randle will do that sometimes. Jalen Brunson and Sohan. Listen, Sohan, I expect Jalen Brunson to win that matchup. Jalen Brunson needs to have a bounce back. Right? He didn't play well against the Los Angeles Clippers. The Knicks won anyway because Julius Randle played well and R.J. Barrett played an excellent game. We'll talk about R.J. Barrett. But I expect Brunson to win this matchup. Quentin Grimes and Malachi Branham. I don't know. It's hard. I don't expect much from Quentin Grimes anymore on the offensive side of the ball. And I'm not even saying it as a diss or that I'm mad or trying to put him down. I know people think I don't like Quentin Grimes, and that's untrue. It's not the truth at all. I like Quentin Grimes. I just want the Knicks to use him better. I want the teammates to find him a little bit more so he can be part of what's happening out there. That's all. Got nothing against Quentin Grimes. Him and Malachi Branham, that should be a wash. Branham is averaging 7.9 points per game. 1.7 rebounds, 2.1 assists per game. Should pretty much be a wash. He shoots 25% from the three-point line. Normally he would have been coming off the bench, I think, and Devin Vassell would be in that position. Right? Quentin Grimes would have a tougher guy to deal with. I don't know if Quentin Grimes is going to be defending Malachi Branham. That's probably going to be Jalen Brunson. To be honest with you. Now, Jeremy Sohan is averaging 8.4 points per game, 5.1 rebounds, 4.6 assists per game. All right, Keldon Johnson, he's giving you 17 points per game. All right, so you're probably, you might see Quentin Grimes on Keldon Johnson. He's 6'5", Keldon Johnson is. R.J. Barrett on Malachi Branham. Or maybe Jalen Brunson on Malachi Branham. I don't know if it matters much if Brunson is on Branham or Sohan. Neither one of those guys are lighting it up at the moment. All right, so those matchups, Victor Wembanyama, he's giving you 19 points, 8.4 rebounds, and 1.7 assists per game. All right, so Julius Randle got to be on his game. He shoots 32.4% from the three-point line and 46.2% from the field. That's Victor Wembanyama. And then you got Mitchell Robinson and Zach Collins. All right, Mitchell Robinson has been a dominant center, ladies and gentlemen. He really has. He's been dominant, and I'm not talking offensively. You know, we're talking defensively, rebounding the basketball, blocking shots. Now Zach Collins, 6'11", 250. He's giving you 14.3 points per game, 6.6 rebounds, 4.3 assists. Right, so he's clearly part of their offensive schemes. So Mitchell Robinson's got to be careful not to get into foul trouble. I think he's done a good job. A couple of times he's been in foul trouble this year, but, you know, I think he's done a good job. But Zach Collins, I mean, right now, when you look at this lineup, he's the third best scorer with this lineup. Okay? So this isn't a lineup that, the Knicks should win this matchup. Brunson, Barrett, Randall should win their matchups offensively. I'm expecting them to win their matchups. I'd be disappointed if they don't win their matchups. You know what I mean? I'd be disappointed if they don't win it. I see someone in the chat say change can't come quick enough for Quentin Grimes to be out of the starting lineup. Julius Caesar said that. I'm just, we're probably going to go through this all season long in regards to Quentin Grimes. I'm just not seeing that he's coming out of the lineup. Because it's not just about the player. It's about how good the lineup works. It's about that. It's about that. Now, I see Keith Turner said Mitch has got his hands full tonight with Wemby. Are you expecting then that Julius Randle is going to be on Zach Collins and Mitch is going to be on Wembanyama? It could be that way. It could be. It's going to be interesting to see how Pop decides to defend the Knicks and how Tom Thibodeau decides to defend the San Antonio Spurs, giving, Victor Wembanyama and Zach Collins, their power forward and center, which are probably interchangeable in some ways, are both guys who can score the basketball and have been crucial in San Antonio's offense so far this season. Obviously, Wembanyama is right now number one on the rookie ladder, and I'm pretty positive is going to win Rookie of the Year. Pretty positive he's going to win Rookie of the Year. Vaughn Allen said, be physical. I agree 100%. Be physical with this basketball team. They're young. They're young. Give them an introduction to the NBA. Right? They're a young basketball team. Be physical. Use your strength against them, especially Julius Randle. But I think RJ Barrett too. Mitchell Robinson too. Zach Collins, he might be pretty strong. I still think that Mitchell Robinson has the upper hand, obviously defensively and rebounding-wise, against Zach Collins. The Knicks just need Mitch to do what he does. Rebound the basketball. Block some shots. Mitch had 4 steals the last game. Get 4 more steals. Or do better than that if you can. I just love the way that Mitch has been playing. You know what I'm saying? Love the way he's been playing. Everything that he's been doing out there. He's definitely been. He's been a star. He's been a star for us. He's been a star in his role. He's been a star for us. Let's talk about some keys to the game, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's get to some keys to the game. Number one, I need Julius Randle to have a repeat performance. All right, it can't be a one-off thing. Cannot be a one-off thing. Right? He's got to have a repeat performance. He doesn't have to score 27, but being efficient. He ended up shooting 43 or 44% from the field because he took 2 3-pointers, towards the end of the night, right? And, he didn't really have to, but he took them. He was 9 of 19 up until that point, about 48%. And then, he took 2 3-pointers and, dropped down about 43%. But for the most part, he shot the ball well. The Knicks need a repeat performance from Julius Randle with less turnovers. Randle had 6 turnovers against the Los Angeles Clippers. Less turnovers. Right? Let's start seeing this thing be a streak with Julius Randle. I think we've got to get Randle, Brunson, and RJ going all together. I don't know if we've seen a game yet where all 3 guys are going together. We've seen very few of them last season, right? Very few of them last season. We talk about continuity and chemistry. Continuity, chemistry, all of that stuff will allow these guys to get going together. I want to see these guys get going together. I just want to see what it looks like. How good can we be if these guys can consistently play at a high level together? Right? Play at a high level together. Win the bench matchup. Just talked about the bench. Just took a look at the bench. Win that bench matchup. Our depth has to dominate this game. It should dominate this game. Our depth, our physicality, those things should dominate this basketball game. We have more players. We're bigger. We're stronger. This is actually a small team. Zach Collins is 6'11". Right? Victor Wembanyama is 7'4". So with those 2 guys, they're obviously tall and long. But after those 2 guys, they don't have much size down low after those 2 guys. Because then they're playing with guards and forwards. Malachi Branham is small. Jeremy Sohan is small. Trey Jones. When I say small, I'm saying, 6'5", 6'4", 6'5". Trey Jones is 6'1", coming off the bench. Cedi Osman is 6'7". Doug McDermott is like 6'6". Charles Bassey is the only other big. Who knows how much he's going to play? He's 6'10". All right, so Charles Bassey, his playing time is 6 minutes against Toronto, I think it was. Right, he played 17 minutes against Indiana, but they were getting smacked. So, yeah, the Knicks got to win that bench matchup, utilize their size, their power, their aggression to win this game. Don't underestimate this team, though. Right? They're coming into the Garden. And, okay, Sohan is 6'8", but still, for the most part, in their rotation, they have 2 guys who are really tall. Victor is 7'4", and Zach Collins is 6'11". So their starting unit is long, but when they start bringing in these bench guys, as far as guys that are over 6'10", well, I guess the Knicks are the same way, to be honest with you. They just have more strength. I guess the Knicks are the same way. It's only 2 guys above 6'10" on the Knicks too, right? Well, Jericho Sims is 6'10". So I guess it's kind of the same. And with Victor Wembanyama being 7'4", a lot of length. But don't underestimate this team. They're young. excited to be playing in the Garden, looking at the Knicks as, believe it or not, a really, really good basketball team, right? They're looking at the Knicks and saying, yo, we got to beat these guys. This is a good basketball team. They made the playoffs last year. They expect to make the playoffs this year. Right? So we can't underestimate these guys. We got to expect that these guys are going to come out and give their best, which they are, and Papa's going to make sure of that. So the Knicks can't have an emotional letdown. And then execution, ladies and gentlemen. So many things that I see out there that, they're just not executing. It's just not sharp. I want to see them look sharp. I want to see the execution look sharp. These guys are going to be tough, no doubt about it. They're going to try to get in the passing lanes, right? They'll probably, Papa's going to have some kind of defensive scheme against Julius Randle to trap him, most likely. As a matter of fact, San Antonio, 2 years ago, it was the Spurs who, in my opinion, first played this quasi-zone man defense against the Knicks and really had Julius Randle confused. Other teams started to pick it up. The Atlanta Hawks did it in the playoffs. And Julius Randle still has trouble with it. It's a little easier now because you got Jalen Brunson that can ease the pressure. But, Papa's going to have a defensive scheme. Can his guys execute it being so young? We'll see. But he's going to have a defensive scheme. Right there, though, my 5 keys. A repeat performance from Randle. Try to get Randle, Brunson, and RJ going together. Win that bench matchup. Don't underestimate the team, and then execute. Execute. Of course, that execution is key. And as we go back to those matchups, though, I do want to jump back there for a second because we just talked about, Sohan being 6'8". That changes your matchups a little bit. Obviously, I didn't expect for Jalen Brunson to be on Sohan, but when I'm looking at it now, you'll probably have Quentin Grimes on Keldon Johnson. He can score. Who knows if you're going to have Randle on? You might have Randle on Zach Collins and Mitchell Robinson on Wembanyama based on the size and the strength. But this means, Mitch has got to guard Victor out on the perimeter. But you might have that. And then Jalen Brunson probably on Malachi Branham. And RJ Barrett on Jeremy. So I'll say it again. I'll start with Brunson. Brunson on Branham. Quentin Grimes on Keldon Johnson. RJ Barrett on Jeremy. Still not sure how they're going to do Randle and Mitchell Robinson. But let's just say Randle on Zach Collins, Mitchell Robinson on Victor Wembanyama. Of course, those two, Randle and Robinson can switch too. That's what I think. That's what I think they might do. We'll see. Obviously, it's going to be a bunch of guys switching around and all of that good stuff. I'm expecting a fun basketball game. I'm excited to see Victor Wembanyama play. I'm excited to see him play. You know what I mean? I'm going to get to my prediction. I want to know your predictions about this game, ladies and gentlemen. Before I do want to remind you that the channel has been demonetized. So if you can support a brother, you know what I'm saying? I would definitely appreciate it. Support the channel. Keep it rocking. Keep it going. You know what I'm saying? $, the Cash App is $ nothing but Knicks. PayPal is paypal.me/nothing but Knicks. So feel free to support me. And, I'm going to pay it back to all of my fellow Knick content creators. See my man Ron from still Knicks fans in the building. You know what I mean? And ladies and gentlemen, if you or someone that you know is interested in some advertising sponsorships on the channel, and I do have some requests coming in, and I'm talking with some people about it, but if you're interested, I put my email in the chat. Hit me up. Let's talk. Let's figure out a creative way to promote your business. Now, I'm not just me personally. I'm not just going to take anything just because it has a sponsorship attached to it. Nope, it's got to fit the channel. It's got to be something that I believe those who support the channel would be interested in. All right, so I'm not just going to throw anything out there, you know. So, yeah, hit me up on my email, ladies and gentlemen, and let's talk. Let's talk. Let's get to some game predictions. What do you think is happening, ladies and gentlemen? Are the Knicks going to win tonight? I think the Knicks are going to win tonight. I believe, I'm hoping that the game against the Los Angeles Clippers, kind of, well, listen, I had felt like the Knicks didn't reach rock bottom yet. You know what I'm saying? Then they came out and they handled business against the Clippers. But I won't lie. I said, I don't know if they hit rock bottom. Maybe they didn't need to hit rock bottom, which is a good thing. Definitely a good thing. I think the Knicks get this win. I do think they're focused and they understand. The Knicks, this team has gone through a lot, right? And they've been through a lot of up and downs. And because of that, I feel like they understand each other as a team. They understand moments where they were weak, moments where they underestimated someone or anything like that. I think they get that. You know what I mean? So I'm expecting them to come out, be serious, try to even up that record at home, try to, even up the record at home. I think they'd be 2-2 or something like that at home if they win. Try to go on a 2-game win streak. They haven't put together any type of winning streaks yet this season, right? This will be their 8th game of the season. See if we can get a streak going. This is the 2nd game of a 3-game homestand. I want the Knicks to take all 3 games. No doubt about it. Shout out to my man Eric Allen, Vaughn Allen in the chat. I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you for hitting me with the Cash App. Right, he said, keep up the amazing work. I appreciate that. I plan to, no matter what happens, even if, no matter what happens, plan to continue to create content. And as soon as, I get everything situated with my girls' basketball team, that is, got some other stuff coming down the pike. So I'll just be on the lookout for that. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get out of here so I can get to practice. Practice is at 5 o'clock. I do want to stop and grab something to eat because I've been working all day. I didn't get a chance to eat yet. Right? So I need to get out of here so I can go grab something to eat and get to practice. I will be back on the post-game show, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so make sure you join us on the post-game show. I'm pretty sure Tony Crow will be there. Hopefully we'll be doing we'll be doing a loser's lounge either way, right? Folks, I'm up out of here. Appreciate your time. I'll see you later on tonight. Support the channel if you feel it in your heart. If not, join me anyway, because we need you here on the show. I'll catch you later on tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench.